When you're new to selling on Amazon, it can be intimidating, and sometimes you can feel like you're in the dark. Let's shed some light on it.
Reezy Resells. Follow the hustle.
In today's video, I'm gonna share with you guys 5 things that I really wish I would have known when I first started selling on Amazon over 15 years ago. Unfortunately, there wasn't any YouTube videos about how to sell on Amazon or any books or anything like that, and I just had to make all of the mistakes myself. One of these, just one of them, cost me $10,000 my first year, so you guys might want to pay attention. Just saying. Now, obviously, this is not everything you need to know to sell on Amazon, but these 5 things that I picked out, I feel are very, very important core concepts that you need to understand, and a lot of people get them wrong. And not only that, they go around on the internet spreading false information that leads a lot of people to believe that it's a lot harder to sell on Amazon than it actually is. Let me clear some things up for you. What's up, guys? If you're new to the channel, my name is Reezy, and in the past 15 years, I've sold full-time on Amazon, well over 10 million in gross sales. I don't come from money. I started it all with $5 when I was on food stamps, making only $1,500 a month, and that's the most I ever made ever working for anybody else. I dropped out of high school when I was in 10th grade and had a kid. I'm still married to the same woman. Anyways, I'm not telling you this to brag. I'm just telling you this because if I could do this, selling on Amazon to change my life and escape the 9-to-5 trap, I know you can too. And that's what I teach on my channel for free. I don't charge anything. I don't have a course to sell you. I'm not one of those guys, but I would appreciate it if you would subscribe if you find value, but not if you're not gonna actually take action and change your life, because that's just not helping anybody. If you've been following me for a while, you might know that I got started on eBay. Surprise, right? Just selling random stuff on eBay, not on Amazon. And on eBay, everybody knows how to look up completed sales or comps to do research to see what the value of something is. You know, is this worth money? Let's look it up on eBay to see. Let's look at sold, completed. Can we profit? Everybody knows how to do that. But when you start selling on Amazon, it's a little bit different. You can't see completed sales, right? So how do you know if something is worth money or not? And that's not even the right question to ask. The question you want to ask is, how fast does it sell? And if it even sells at all, then how much money can we make if we sell it? The way we can tell if something sells on Amazon at all, let alone how fast it sells, is through this special number called sales rank. Sales rank is a number that Amazon gives to every single page on their platform. So it's actually called a product detail page. That's the page where when you go on Amazon, you click buy and you can actually buy stuff. Every single one of those pages on Amazon has a sales rank, and that rank lets you know how popular it is in its own specific category. For example, whatever book is selling the best today is number 1 in the books category. Whatever book is selling the best tomorrow is gonna be number 1 in the book category. It might not be the same book. Sales rank is not static, it's dynamic. And that is basically the core foundation of understanding if something actually sells on Amazon or if it's just wishful thinking. But the rabbit hole goes a little bit deeper than that, actually a lot deeper than that. So we know it's not static, right? It's dynamic, it moves, it changes over time, but you might not know how it changes or why it changes. And I'm gonna explain that to you here in a second, but I gotta let you know, in order to actually efficiently analyze sales rank as an expert Amazon seller, or even as a serious beginner Amazon seller, you have to have Keepa. And it's not free. I don't get anything from telling you guys to use this service. It is an industry standard, everybody uses it. And what they do is they track sales rank on Amazon product pages throughout history, and they give you these pretty little graphs. There's a Chrome extension. It will show up on every Amazon product detail page. And if you're an Amazon seller, you pretty much need that data to do your job. So it's like 20 bucks a month, something like that. Just get it. You're gonna need it. So once you actually sign up for Keepa, install the Chrome extension, and then you will see the graphs show up on your product detail pages in Amazon. And you can actually change it from 30 days, 60 days, 90 days. You can actually highlight different sections. There's a lot of cool stuff you can do. And I'm not gonna get into all that because that would be a crazy long video. But what I want you to understand is how sales rank behaves. So when it's not selling, an item sales rank gets higher, the number gets higher, it gets worse, right? So if it was the best selling rank, it's number 1, and then no one's buying it, it starts going up 2, 3, 5, 10, 100, 1,000, and then someone buys a copy at 6 p.m., boom, and now it shoots down to 15 rank, and then it starts going up again. It gets worse and worse and worse until someone buys it, and that creates downward pressure on the rank and the item sells. Now, when you look at the graph on Keepa throughout history, you can actually see those drops in the sales rank as spikes. Those spikes indicate sales, and that is the core foundation of how you check for comps, completed sales on Amazon. But it's a little bit trickier than that because we don't know which offer actually sold on Amazon. All we know is that's when it sold, right? But we can assume that it was the new buy box price for the item because Amazon statistics show that 80 to 90% of all sales occur through the buy box. So what we do is we look at what was the buy box price at the time that the spike occurred, and that's what we assume the price to be. Now, that's not even that important on Amazon because when you find an item that's profitable and you can sell it, we'll go over that one later, what you're looking for is sales velocity. Not necessarily what the price was when it sold last time, but what's the price right now and what does the demand look like, right? What is the supply? What is the demand? And when you get in there, how much money can you expect to sell, right? So we're not guessing with sales rank. It's a very important tool that you need to understand if you want to be an Amazon seller. You can find the sales rank for every item on the product detail page down below. Scroll past all the cool stuff into the item specification section. And you can do it using the Amazon seller app, but if you want to be quick, and you do, if you want to make some money being an Amazon seller, you have to use an app. Unfortunately, these apps aren't free, but they do save you a lot of time, and your time isn't free either. So let's talk about how to do that quickly using wireless Bluetooth barcode scanners and special apps on your phone. What app is that? What app are you using? What app do you use to look up items in the stores? How do you know if it's profitable or not? All of these are questions that I'm about to answer for you. If you've spent longer than like 2.5 seconds researching this whole Amazon selling thing, you've probably seen somebody using some sort of app on their phone and maybe a wireless Bluetooth barcode scanner. And you're wondering, what are they doing, or what app that is, or what is the little scanner thing in their hand, and like, how do they do it all? They're making money, but what are they doing? What that person is doing, or what I'm doing, and what you're gonna be doing as a professional Amazon seller is scanning barcodes of items and using a specialized app that helps you to analyze the data more efficiently so you can get through items faster and find more winners. Now, like I said earlier, you could do this using the Amazon seller app, which is free for all sellers, but it's just not very efficient, and I hardly know any full-time professional Amazon sellers that use only the Amazon seller app. Almost all retail arbitrage sellers are gonna use some form of scanning app. Now, most sellers are using ScoutIQ, which comes free with Inventory Labs, which is a $40 a month listing service, but that's like a huge value. That's a great package. But if you're a media seller, meaning you sell books, CDs, or DVDs, you're gonna need to use ScoutIQ or another similar app that has a downloadable database. The reason is because 99% of all books, CDs, DVDs, media, it's just worthless. So you're not trying to find the best ones as much as you're trying to get through the junk as fast as possible. So the faster you get through it, the more good ones you find, and there's just a vast amount of junk. So it's much more important for media sellers to have a database and a scanner. How much faster is it? Well, if you can even get cell signal, you know, maybe you're in the bottom of a basement of a house or a huge Costco where you don't get cell signal is gonna take 1, 3, 5 seconds to return a live result, right? And all the apps have live data results as well. But with the database downloaded to your phone, it's gonna take like a half a second to get the result. I swear, you look at the barcode and you scan it with your barcode scanner and you look back at your phone and already the data's there. You won't even see it switch. That's how fast it is. It's so fast that you could actually just wear headphones and then scan until you hear a beep set up by your own settings to trigger for profit. And then you can look at the screen and go, oh yeah, that one, let's buy that one, right? But with things that aren't media, it's not as important to have the cordless scanner or the database. You could just pay the $10 a month for the live plan and use your cell phone signal and your phone's camera and just scan items casually. And there's actually retail arbitrage sellers who make millions of dollars a year, or excuse me, who sell millions of dollars a year of products on Amazon, who use just the ScoutIQ 2 app with no barcode scanners. For media, it's a whole different ball game. Like if I was out to scan books and I forgot my scanner, I'm turning around and going back to get it, or I'm gonna do something else, not books. You just have to have it if you're a book seller. If you're out to do shoes or retail arbitrage and you normally have a Bluetooth scanner and you forget it that day, maybe you don't even turn around. Not that big of a deal. And the scanners themselves, they're not that complex. Some are pretty expensive, like 300 bucks new, but you don't need to pay that much. There's actually a company called eYoYo that makes scanners that are like 40 bucks or 100 bucks. So they're not the top of the line, but it is so close. It is like 60 to 70% as good. It'll last you well over a year of daily use. So I always tell people, get the $40 eYoYo scanner or the $75 eYoYo ring scanner, the yellow button one, not the orange button one. That one's not good. Those are great scanners, but those aren't the only ones. You could also use, and I highly recommend, the Opticon OPN 2002 or other similar scanners, as well as the Comtac KDC 200i. There's the Socket 8CI, there's the Socket CHS series. Motorola makes a couple different scanners. Really, they just connect to your phone as a HID device. So your phone thinks it's a keyboard, and any app that's ready and waiting for data entry will just receive it. Boom, you get the results and you can send another scan and another scan. But not all apps are set up to work like that. It's important that you understand how it works, but it's not that complex. If you can connect a pair of Bluetooth headphones to your phone, you can connect a Bluetooth scanner. So hopefully you've been paying attention so far in this video, and you know that the first thing we covered was sales rank, and understanding that allows you to know whether you should buy an item or not, how fast it sells, and of course you also have to multiply that with pricing information, right? What is the buy box for the lowest used price or new price for the comparable offer? We covered that. And right now we just got done talking about scanning apps and Bluetooth barcode scanners, which are definitely a necessity for anybody that wants to make any type of considerable income, part-time or full-time, as an Amazon seller. Now, even though you got stuff, it's good stuff, it will sell, it can make you money, right? But it's not gonna sell if you don't understand how to price it properly or how to use repricers. This next section of the video is going to cover pricing and repricing your items. And if you've never heard that word repricing, you're going to want to pay attention. When I first started selling on Amazon, I had no idea how to price something in a marketplace that was set up how Amazon is. I came from eBay, where your offers are here and there. It's not vertically integrated, but on Amazon, there's one page for an item and all the sales offers are within that. And at the time, I didn't know that most people go to the buy box, which is the button that just says add to cart, right? And they just click add to cart. So something like 80 to 90% of all the sales occur through the add to cart button. And if you're in the buy box, is what we call it as an Amazon seller, you're the offer that sells in that spot. And it's not only going to the person with the lowest offer, but usually it's the person with the lowest price. Your feedback comes into play, how close you are to the customer comes into play, but for the most part, the person who has the lowest price generally is gonna get the buy box, as it's the factor that weighs the most heavily into whether or not you get it, right? You could be a little bit more than my price and have way better feedback than me, or I recently got some bad feedbacks or whatever, and so you come up higher, but generally the thing that influences the buy box the most is your price. So if you don't price appropriately, you're never gonna sell because you're not gonna be in the buy box. And when I first started selling, I took the first 100 books that I listed on Amazon and I priced each one in the middle of all of the offers. I know it's super stupid, but I didn't know any better. And some of you might not know either, which is why I'm making this video, because I don't want you guys to make this mistake. So I literally took items, and if there was 10 pages of items, I went to the 5th page and I looked at the price in the middle of the 5th page, and then I made all my items that price, and then I just sat back and waited. Just waited to count up all my money. I was gonna be rich, right? Except for nothing happened. I didn't sell anything. So it took me a couple days to realize it, and I had to get on the platform and kind of pretend I was a customer, because at the time I had never bought anything off Amazon. You have to remember, when I found out that Amazon was the place to sell used books, I didn't even know what Amazon was. It wasn't super popular back then. So once I got a grip on it, I realized, oh, I have to make my books basically like the lowest price or close to the lowest price so that they will actually sell. And as soon as I took all my books and made them the lowest price, I woke up the next day and maybe 30% of all my books had sold. So that is very, very important to understand how pricing comes into play with your items and how it affects whether or not you're gonna sell it. You don't have to have it at the lowest price to sell, but it definitely helps to be positioned as the best price for the next person when they come along to purchase that item. But if you feel like the demand is greater than the supply, then you can price higher and wait for some other offers to sell out and get a better price for your item. But you have to understand how that works so that you can actually make money selling on Amazon. And once you understand that you have to change your price all the time, because you're competing against other sellers trying to get the buy box as well. And everybody's changing their price a little bit lower to try to get the buy box. This is actually what we call the race to the bottom. And it's not something you want to participate in, but you do want to make sales. So it's kind of like, if you can't beat them, join them, right? Now, for the most part, when you get started selling on Amazon, your inventory is not going to be too large. So you're not going to have too many items to alter the price on too frequently. But you're going to want to check in with your items maybe after the first couple weeks of listing them, or the first 30 days. If you haven't had any sales, definitely sooner than that. But generally, let it breathe, sit at what price you wanted to sell it for. And if it doesn't sell, go back and look at it again. Maybe more people have listed more copies and you need to lower your price so that you can become competitive again and actually make a sale. And like I said, when you get started, you're not gonna have a lot of inventory, so that's not gonna take you a lot of time. Depending on what category you sell in, you might wanna reprice your items every single day. Everybody's situation is different. Now, once your inventory grows so large that it becomes difficult for you to manage pricing them manually, I recommend that you sign up for a repricer to help you do this automatically. This is a service. It can cost anywhere from $20 to $50 to a few $100s a month, depending on what type of repricing you need, how frequently you need your items repriced, and most importantly, how large your inventory is. But like I said, your time is money, and all of these things are gonna help you make money and save you time. I wouldn't recommend you to use them otherwise. Well, that's great, Reezy. Thanks for telling me how to price an item on Amazon, but guess what? I can't sell it. I'm restricted. I know. A lot of you guys are restricted in selling a lot of different categories and brands on Amazon, and that's why you're gonna love this next section. How to get ungated easily and cheaply in almost any category or brand. Is that a word?
Cheaply?
Cheaply. You know what I mean. The only thing I hear more complaints about from people who are getting started on Amazon, or who aren't gonna get started because there's just too many things that they're worried about other than the gas. People telling me that, oh, you're grandfathered and you can sell that brand or you can sell in that category on Amazon and I can't. And it's actually a huge misconception, because yes, you are restricted to sell in a lot of different brands and categories when you first start selling on Amazon, but you can get approved to sell in them, and it's way easier than you think. Now let's talk about real quickly why Amazon does this. It's a good thing. It makes the marketplace better. Imagine if everybody could sell any brand they want and in any category at any time of the year. They just pop onto Amazon and sell some stuff. I think that would create a lot of negative customer experiences, and what Amazon's doing is protecting the long-term value of the customer and not allowing amateur sellers to hop on, maybe unknowingly or maybe even on purpose, make mistakes that are gonna put a bad taste into the customer's mouth, either about Amazon's platform or that brand, and you're just not worth that much to Amazon. You have to prove yourself to Amazon so that you can gain it. There's two ways that you can get approved to sell in almost any brand or category on Amazon. One of them is much harder and takes much longer, but it's also free. It doesn't cost you anything, and that's called maximum approval. Hitting maximum approval, which is an internal Amazon term, will allow you to get auto ungated in almost any category or brand. So let me unpack that a little bit. Maximum approval is a status that you can achieve once you've hit some magic metrics that nobody knows about. It's automatically determined by Amazon's algorithm. But 6 months to a year of selling seriously, and I mean seriously, enough to feed your family, and you will most likely hit it. I have seen people hit it selling only books in less than 6 months. But these people were dedicated savages who sold like their life depended on it and they wanted to quit their job. It wasn't casual, right? So you can brute force your way into it for free over time by proving to Amazon that you're a serious seller that can make X amount of transactions or dollars over X time with less than X amount of defects. You can get in that way automatically, free, maximum approval. But there's another way that does cost money, not as much as you think, and it can get you in much, much faster. So when you're not allowed to sell a certain item on Amazon and it says you have to request approval, you press it and you don't get approved because you're not gonna get auto ungated and you haven't hit maximum approval, your only option is to provide invoices. Now here's where everybody gets caught up, because on Amazon's page, it says you need to provide invoices from a legitimate, reputable wholesaler, supplier, or distributor. And everybody just goes, well, how in the heck am I gonna do that? That's gonna cost me $1 million. Chill, it's not gonna cost you that much. What you are gonna wanna do is have your business set up properly with your state, have your LLC or your DBA or whatever. I'm not a tax or a business setup person. I'm not gonna give you all those boring details, but you have to have your business formalization set up, and you want to make accounts with different companies. You don't want to go as your first name and your last name with your Hotmail, right? So have a business name, have a business email, and then set up accounts with the proper places to get you approved. Now, a lot of places can get you approved, way more than you think. It doesn't have to be super fancy ones. For example, there's a company, Entertainment Earth. They have a wholesale distributor side called EE Distribution. Go to EE Distribution's website, set up an account as a new wholesaler, put in all of your official business information that you had set up properly, and you will get approved, and then you can place an order with them. So your gating is twofold, and a lot of people get it confused, but you're gated in toys as a new seller, toys and games actually to be more specific, and you're also gated in all kinds of different brands. So what you're gonna do is you're gonna look through EE Distribution and you're gonna find a toy in a brand that you're restricted in that you would like to be approved to sell in. For example, Disney. You're gonna order 10 of the exact same Disney toy, 10 units. Make sure you're restricted on this item, it's very important. After you place your order, you're gonna get an invoice in your email before the products even come. You're gonna submit that to Amazon to get approved. Now, if they reject it, which is very likely, don't fret, it happens all the time. A lot of people don't understand how automated Amazon is, and you might have to submit an actual legitimate invoice a dozen times before they actually accept it. I'm not joking, it's a mess over there. I've actually been approved by submitting a blank piece of paper. So don't worry if they don't accept it, just keep submitting it. They sell all kinds of different brands of toys on Entertainment Earth. So any brand they have on there, you could purchase 10 of them and use that invoice to get ungated to be able to sell that brand on Amazon. And that's essentially the process of getting ungated or approved to sell in any brand or any category on Amazon. Everybody worries about what website is it, who should I go? And there's actually a lot of people selling you information equal to what I'm telling you right now for $500, for $1,000, for $2,000. And it's very simple. Whatever brand or category that you want to sell on Amazon, find a product that you're restricted in. Look for it on Amazon. And I swear to you, someone who's selling it in the top of the Google search, the first 10 things that come up, one of those will get you approved to sell on Amazon. So it's not so much what's the magic place to buy from to get you approved. All kinds of places can get you approved. Google a brand, Nike supplier, Nike shoes, whatever. Find the cheapest Nike item they carry, order 10 of them, and try submitting that invoice to Amazon a couple dozen times to see if you get approved. Rinse and repeat, especially if they're advertising. That means they want to get money, right? So don't let everyone tell you it's super hard or you got to pay thousands of dollars. I promise you, more often than not, the first place that you try that you may have not ever heard of will probably get you approved. Getting ungated or getting approved to sell in restricted brands or categories, that's not the only reason you want to pay the $40 a month to be a pro merchant, because this is that $10,000 tip that you guys have been waiting for. This might be one of the biggest mistakes I've ever made. But yeah, in my first year of selling on Amazon, I actually sold over 10,000 items, right? Cool, hold the applause, right? Because I wasn't a pro merchant seller. Now, in the previous section, I told you you have to be a pro merchant seller to be eligible to apply to sell in restricted categories and brands. So if that's what you want to do, you're probably already on your way to being a pro merchant and you don't have to worry about this. Because when I got started selling on Amazon, I didn't even know what a pro merchant was. I had no idea what anything was, and I'm not like an instruction reader guy. I'm more of a put my feet on the ground and start running kind of guy. So what happened was, in the first year, I sold over 10,000 books, and I didn't know that if you're a pro merchant on Amazon, you actually save $1 per every sale. Now, the truth of that is that you're actually being charged $1 more for every sale if you're not a pro merchant, right? And I didn't even know that. So I could have saved $1 for every one of those 10,000 books that I sold my first year as an Amazon seller if I would have just been a pro merchant the whole entire year, which only costs $40 a month. So, lesson learned, right? And the lesson is, as soon as you sell 40 items a month on average or more, you need to become a pro merchant seller. Now, you might be watching this and be wondering, what is the other option? What other kind of seller can you be on Amazon? There's no free plan, but there is. It's called the individual seller plan, and Amazon likes to hide it. They make it hard to find on their website. It takes multiple clicks to get to it, to see the price comparisons, but there is a free plan on Amazon. If it's too hard for you to find, go ahead and sign up for a pro merchant plan and then call seller support and downgrade to the individual seller plan, which is free, but you will get charged that $1 additional fee for every item that you sell. So make sure you upgrade to pro merchant as soon as you're selling 40 items a month or more. Very, very important. Don't be like me and make that mistake to where you could lose, you know, a couple $100, $1,000, like 10,000. Like, I don't think anyone's made that mistake larger than me, but you definitely want to be a pro merchant, not just to get ungated in different brands and categories, but as soon as you're selling volume, you can't be paying that extra $1. On the flip side, if you're not selling 40 items a month and you don't want to apply to sell in restricted brands or categories, maybe you just stay an individual seller and you save that money because you don't have it to put up front, right? You can still do everything else. You can still make FBA shipments, don't trip, but when it's time, don't be scared, you gotta upgrade. The craziest thing about me losing the $10,000 is not the actual $10,000, it's the person that gave me the tip that made me possibly not lose another $10,000. Who knows when I would have became a pro merchant. I don't think it would have took that long, but check it out. I actually learned about the pro merchant $1 savings per order thing from my friend Pat, who is actually an older bookseller. He's gotta be at least probably 30 years older than me. He's still active. He could probably outrun me in a long distance run, I promise you. But the thing I wanna share with you guys is my mentality. I not only didn't see Pat as competition, even though I would see him every single day that I was going out and sourcing books around town, at the Goodwill outlet, at the various thrift stores, at the used bookstore selling books, he would be there. But I never really considered him competition because he was old and he didn't know as much as I knew, and he was slow, he wasn't as quick as me, you know what I mean? He was just there, he was just old Pat. It wasn't a big deal to me. And I kind of wrote him off as far as like, yeah, I'll be nice to him and I'll talk to him, but there's not much he could teach me. There's nothing he could teach me. I know so much more than this guy does. I'm a veteran, I'm experienced. Like, he doesn't even know how to use his PDA with ActiveSync in Windows. How did he even figure that out? He probably bought a pre-set up PDA or whatever, right? But that was me being narrow-minded, because just having a casual conversation with him one day, he told me this about being a pro merchant and how I could save $1 per sale. And I didn't tell Pat right there that I sold 10,000 books in the first year of selling because, you know, we're competitors, and even though we're casually talking, I'm not gonna spill the beans and give him all the details, might make it more competitive, you know what I mean? But I did tell him, yo, like, I really appreciate that. I'm not a pro merchant, and I've definitely sold a ton of books. And after I told him thank you and how much I appreciated him telling me that tip, you know, he was real humble and kind of just wrote it off and was like, yeah, no worries, man, like blah, blah, blah. And I don't know if he knows how much that impacted me or whatever, because like I said, it could have been another $10,000 I lost before I realized that. And so I'm really stoked to be able to share that tip with you guys. But there's also another lesson inside of there, and that is like, you can learn from anybody around you. And I know it sounds cliche, I've even heard it before, but I wasn't aware, I wasn't being present, you know what I mean? So people that are older, people that maybe you think aren't your competition or don't know as much as you, they definitely still have something to teach you that could be life-changing. It might not be a $10,000 change, but it could be a $100,000 change, who knows, in a casual conversation. So don't write off any area of your life or any individual as a potential source for, you know, greatness or good input or whatever. Just, I don't know what I'm trying to get to here. Maybe you know more and you can comment down below what I'm trying to get out, but I'm just saying, like, everyone has something, so like, keep your ears tuned for listening, you know what I mean? If you appreciated this stuff, you want to learn more, I have a free course. It's actually my only course. There's a link in the description. I promise I'm not going to sell you anything. I'm not that guy, right? I might give you a couple emails, but that's about it. However, I genuinely want you to succeed. I believe everyone deserves a chance to change their life with e-commerce like I did, for free, right? Like, just like the library is free and there's books for everyone, it should be free. And if you want to see more videos like this one, even some videos where I actually go into stores and buy the stuff that I then ship off to be sold on Amazon, basically just learn more, subscribe to the channel, and remember, if you ain't flipping, you slipping. Peace. Confessions of a Scalper, take 69. How to make a living selling on the channel. What's up, guys? My name is Reezy.
What's up, guys? My name is Reezy.
In today's video, I'm gonna oh my god. So yeah, serious time. Super serious, bro. Reezy time. The way we understand this on, stop that with your foot, bro. You're making noise. I'm serious, bro. I'm not trying to be, I'm just saying. You already made noise one time. You heard it. It's on the camera.